I'm Vila, and I'm here with Eden. We're talking about the dance of the Radiant Cross Method. And so, Eden, we have a dance open event coming up, and I'm just curious what you might say to those people who are considering joining. What's been your favorite part of working with this method? Like, what if you were to like highlight one piece? What do you like absolutely look forward to in it?
Mm. It's really been such a joy to be able to whittle down into like more of my true essence and really allow that to shine forward more authentically and gracefully than I've really experienced in myself before.
So what does that feel like? Like what's the difference? Like if you could I love the way you describe that, whittling down to your true essence. That's so cool. But what's the opposite of that? Like what is that? How would you juxtapose that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a person who has taken on a lot of other people's emotions and baggage and other stuff and um what it's so contrary, like it's so heavy when you're carrying that burden of being either a people pleaser or any of those different factors. And when you're really being able to tap further in and really understand what your heart is calling for in that moment, um, it really makes the biggest impact on yourself and everyone around you when you are expressing from that place of true inner peace and desire.
Cool. Um, it sounds like powerful. Like how did you experience this working with this method as empowering for you?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you asked, it was yes.
Can you say some more about that?
Yeah. You know, especially coming from that place of being a people pleaser for so many years. And, over the last, I guess, 8 months that I've been working with this method, really being able to express in that moment authentically, like, hey, that really didn't feel good. And I'm ready to shift this into something that feels good for both of us. And understanding understanding myself better in every moment and feeling present in every moment instead of, oh, I have all this stuff going on that I'm bringing into this interaction with someone.
Yeah. So that's something in the past you wouldn't have done necessarily. Like
Yeah,
if there was conflict, you would have tried to kind of go ahead.
yeah, I would have tried to run away from it as fast as I could. And it feels really empowering to be able to take a stance in that conversation and really hold myself and the other person in accountability and integrity and just in the love that we have for one another. And that really makes such a big difference in myself and with others.
So how did the method help you do that? Like what is it about it that like got you from point A to point B? Curious.
Do you want the short answer or the long answer? um, I guess in short, uh, um, it really being able to really tap in further into my true voice and really feel more of myself come online and understand if I wouldn't treat someone that way, why should I allow them to treat me that way? And I'm stuck on the words because it's been so much transformation within myself. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a different way that I've been holding myself because I know what I'm really desiring out of a connection with someone or desiring from myself, and what my goals are really like.
As somebody that's been working with you for a while now, I think one of the ways I might describe it, and I'm curious if this is accurate for you, is it feels like there's been a certain number of switches that have been flipped, meaning like places where you would have defaulted to like, oh, it's my fault, and like, oh, this makes me a bad person, and kind of turned it in on yourself. that instead you have a different kind of inner dialogue going on where it's like, okay, I didn't like that, something's off in this, and I have enough respect for myself and for this person that I care about that I'm going to take the time, take the energy, take the bandwidth, take that inner strength to like actually work with what is, which of course is, one of the, that's the first place we head to in, in the Dance of the Radiant Cross, is we work with what is. And so when you, and then from that place of what is, then we get to go to what do we want, and then we get to go to how are we going
Right.
to transform it, what are we designing here. So it
Yeah.
it feels like it like working with this pattern has made it so, um so you just have greater ease in that realm of self-respect.
Definitely. The way that I've been seeing it or reframing it in my mind is really, I used to come from this place of like very reactionary in the moment, and you know, being kind of immediately triggered into the victim state. And instead, it's more about stepping forward and saying, okay, I do really respect myself. I do really love myself. And I do want to continue this connection with you instead of running away and like, hiding. Um, and it's really helped me step more into kind of co-creating with this other, with myself and with others about how I want that relationship to unfold more and be more present. And like you said, the dance of what is like my best friend. But also stepping further into the leader in that engagement. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So who would you say is this method is for? Who would you recommend this kind of work to?
Um, you know, I consider myself to be a very emotionally sensitive person. I think that it's really valuable for those of us who perceive on so many different levels and who are really like overstimulated by pretty much everything out there. But I also, I think this is a great tool for pretty much everybody. I mean, just to really be able to tap further into yourself is such a gift, and to really experience yourself fuller.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for talking with us this evening. And I'm excited to get to continue to dance with you, my dear, and to have to witness you dancing with yourself on all these different levels. So until then, keep dancing.
Thank you for having me.